Hello, sorry it's been a while. Haven't really had much to put on and I've been busy, but gonna do a quick video here. Uh, it's actually just a job with a couple of beams. What I'm gonna do is just open a new template and we'll import the PDF. I'm just gonna go through the job and just record it. Quite simple little thing, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm on my laptop here, so it's just taking a second. All right. So I'm going to import. So I'm going to go to export and import. I'm going to attach a file. And let's find where it is. So it's going to be in this one. Now I haven't actually looked at this job yet. It's a rush job. So I haven't priced it or anything. I didn't look at the scale. Let me go in and look at the scale. So I'll probably do it off the plan. Sorry, I don't know why that's scrolling on its own. So there's a plan here somewhere. Alright, here we have it. So I'm just going to print this for my own viewing. Current page is all I need. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to import this, and the scale is 1/2 inches to 1. So I have my my wheel in the middle set to scroll up and down, so I can't zoom in and out with it. Unless I do control. So 1/2 inches to 1, so that means I have to multiply it by 24. So if I go back in here, I want to do this third page by 24. And that's going to put that right in the XY axis at the origin. Sorry, my desk is a bit of a mess here. Alright, so we can come in here and you can just check it to see how close it is. So it's close, but it's not exact. So what I'll generally do is first I'm going to pick this and I'm going to put it on a layer. So I'm going to put it on the PDF layer so I can turn it on and off pretty easy. So we can see we've got some walls here and we've got a cavity here, I guess, right? Existing studs to be cut and modified. So there's studs. So we want to draw in this wall also. So I'll just draw in. It doesn't have to be exact. They're going to field measure and I can switch it. But you can see we have 2 lines. So I'm guessing this is the studs. I'm just going to draw here and here. So what I'll do is I'll go to a construction line. And it's a small job. Generally, I'll draw lines at 90 degrees. I won't snap the second one. I'll just snap the first one. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to snap this line. And you can see the way it's gone to 0. And I'll snap that there. And then I'll do the same here. Now, I can fix that afterwards. I'll just fill it that. Alright, so now we want to see how thick the wall is. I don't just copy it from this point to that point. I'll copy it kind of with a purpose. So I'll come over and see what it looks like. Now, obviously you can go and find out how thick the walls are and everything. Generally, I don't really get that information. So we can see that's probably going to be 9 inches. Unless I go to the inside one. That'd be 8. So let me go to 8 inches, probably 8-inch block. Now you can see this line is not even with that line, so I did something wrong there. So copy, and we're going to go straight over, and we'll go 8 inches. Okay, and then we'll copy again. That's going to be 3.5. Okay, that's good. And then we can come up here and we'll do the same thing. 8 inches. So you can see it's different here now. It's not working there, but doesn't really matter. This wall has no bearing on us anyway. Excuse the pun. Alright. So now if I go to my tool palette here and come down here, we can do fillet radius 0 and M for multiple. And then we'll just fillet these. Okay. Now this one and this one, we can join them. You don't need to join them right now, but I will. And I'm actually going to copy this. I'm going to move this out and move it out a distance of 9 feet, somewhere in the middle there. Then I'm going to copy this one back 9 feet. Now, I'm sure everyone has a different way of doing this. This is a little bit slower probably, but probably a little more accurate. So this is just the way I'll do it. So I'll join these two and these and join, and then that wants to come back to 9 feet. And then this one, I'm going to go to end point. And I'll just do the same thing. I'm going to snap down at 90 degrees. I don't want to try and snap to the end of that because chances are I'll mess it up. So again, I'll go to end point here. Same thing, 90 degrees, come back in here, do multiple, select those two lines. So now I have the basis of those two walls. Now you might want to create those walls out of concrete, which I often do. This time I'm not going to, because it's just quicker to do it this way, I find. Now if you're doing them in concrete all the time, you can probably do them faster that way. So do them that way. 9. So 9 feet. So now we're going to have our two walls there. So now we're going to have, I guess the opening is right here. So you can see it gets sluggish once you start orbiting, especially on the laptop. So I'm just going to go back to the top view. I'm going to come back down. So the opening, the center of the columns, new awning. So the new awning is at 5 feet. It's going to be 3'4" off the building. So I'll just do in the outline of the awning also. So it's going to be 3 foot. I'm actually not going to draw in the awning, but I might just want to mark it. I might want to give them something for it. So I'll just draw a straight line down there. That is not a straight line, as you can see. Alright, now that's a straight line. So I'm just going to pick a point here because it doesn't matter. It's only these two. So I'm going to try and get something central here. So that one. And I'll use that as my reference. Again, I didn't snap that straight, so be careful. There. And go straight. Alright, now this is a 4x4 by 1/4 inch post. So what we can do is we could draw a line out here of the center of this. So let's see if we can get the center of this line. So midpoint. So draw a line from the midpoint. So even though you couldn't see it, that was the midpoint. I'm going to come out 2 inches because I want to have this flush with the wall. And then I'm going to come back here. Now if I come back and fillet this, then I can delete this line, and then I'll draw a line from here down 5 feet. So there we go. and I generally draw in circles. I don't know, I just like to draw in circles. I'll just do a 3-inch circle and then copy that up 5 feet. Alright, so now that's where our columns are going to be. So now what I'm going to do is, let's have a look at our height. I don't think we have a height. So we'll call it 6 and 8 feet. So there's no height, they're going to verify it. So 6 and 8 feet we'll call it. So I'll just make this 8 feet. So you can see I'm going to extrude these, and they are concrete lines. So I'm just going to go in and put them in as concrete walls. So select the 2 of them. Concrete walls. So there's my 2 walls. Now at this point you can almost turn off your PDF because it's going to slow you down a little bit. I just got stuck there now because I'm trying to zoom in. This is where the laptop kind of, it finds it hard to deal with the PDFs, depending on how the PDFs were created. It usually doesn't take this long now, to be honest. Now I just noticed that I haven't saved the file yet, so let me go back to top and let's save as, and then I want to go in and save it. I should have done this straight away as soon as I created the file. Alright, so they're given a height here. Let's just check on the scale what the height looks like. I'll just go from the end of that line. (14'6". So this is a different scale, is it? Yeah, so this is 1:1. So 14'6", what I say, so 17'3". Yeah, 14'6", so 7'3". So I'll put up that beam 7'3". The existing beam up here then is going to be, let's see what it is, and we'll just put it in off these dimensions. So it's half of whatever this is. So in the Y direction, it's 19 feet. So that'd be 9'6". So we're going to put in an existing beam at 9'6". So what we can do is, it's on the center of that outside wall. Existing beam at 9'6". So we'll turn this off for a second. Existing beam at 9'6". So let's go to your home. Let's go here and do beam from the center. And we'll do it the whole way over. So you can just go here and then let it snap in. Now it's coming on the wrong layer because I have it set to construction layer, which I could have changed. And I'm going to put this in as an 831, sorry. And I'm going to go to name, and I'm going to put in beam, and then I'm going to go to top, right click, and I want the model roll to come in every time. Go to positioning, I want to position it here, check up top, the position is going to come in the same every time. Material, and yeah, that's good. Okay, now just select the beam, and actually I did make a mistake there, but it's fine. I'm going to go back in here and I want this to be existing, but now when I change it this way, the next one will still come in as a beam. Existing. Okay, so now that's my beam, and I wanted to put that at 9'6", right? 9'6", and okay, so we want to put in our posts here, and the posts go up to the top of that beam basically. So what we can do is we can put in a column. So let's come here. I generally put columns in as beams, to be honest. I don't know why these two are off. That's a modeling error you gotta be careful with, user error. So I'm just going to check the distance again. So center that. The center of that is 5 feet. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to come here and this one. Put a column on the center of that. Now again, I didn't change the construction line, so let's go back. We want to change this back to standard, and that will bring everything in on the layer it's supposed to come in on. So let's select here. Okay, so it's brought the column in, and I want to do rectangular hollow section, square, 4 by 4 by quarter. Go to naming, beam, it came in. I put that in as a column. It should have come in as a column. Or did I do beam by accident? Alright, it should have come in as a column anyway. I don't know what I did there. Alright, and the positioning is off. Positioning I should have said straight away, but I'm only doing a couple of columns, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so now I want to cut this to the top of that. So I'm going to go here, and I want to cut the system line of the second one to the system line of the first one. Okay. There's your beam. We got our column here. I'm going to copy this across from here to here. Now, you could just do one and then copy it all over. Now, they've got some silly base plate on this, like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch base plate. 2 lag bolts anchored to the floor. So, I'm going to come in here and go to the connection vault. I'm going to do base plate. Additional concrete objects, no. He doesn't want to do any grout under this either, so let's go library. Let's check what we got here. Sorry, base plate. So I only need 1/4 inch base plate, which is too small, but he said this is what he wants. Column, base plate dimensions, projections. I'm not going to make them equal. So that's 3 and 1, 2. Let me see, 2 and 1. 1 and 2.5. No, almost picked the wrong one. So it should be the second 2.5. 0.5. And then the anchors, plate corners, fine. Anchors, 3/4 inch. What size did I say? It doesn't say, but they don't need to be 3/4, so I'll do 1/2 inch. But there is only 2, but it is tied back into the beam up top, so it should be fine. Alright, so that's fine. I don't need them 1 inch, and I'm going to make them Hilti quick bolts, and I'll do 4.5. Probably 3 inch embedment should be fine. 4.5, yeah. And then parallel to web, it's 10, 1. And 1 that way, and then the other way I've got 10. The column is 4 plus 3 would be 7. And there's your plate. Just check your anchor holes. 5/16 is too much. 3/16. I need to set that a little bit lower. Alright, so that's good. Generally I would put some grout under that, but they don't want any grout. So if you wanted to put grout in there, just go to base plate layout, projections, and then you have your 1/4 inch. And then if you want to do a value and you want to put like an inch of grout, just do 1.25 and then put in a plate there. But anyway, I'm going to leave it, and that's fine. So now I'm going to copy that across, and I want to copy it intelligently. So when I copy it, if I change one, the other one will also change. Okay, so there's my two. Now on the top, the angle, let me have a look at it. So what's it say? There's an angle here on the bottom is bolted to the concrete wall, the masonry wall. So it's a 1/4 inch thick bent plate to fit, okay. And up here we have a 1/4 inch thick bent plate to fit. So I'll do bent plate for there also. And this beam, not telling me what size, new W12, see the plan view. So plan view says a W12 by 26. Okay. So let me see again how long the beam is. It's not telling me, so I'll just go like 6 inches from the center either way. Alright, so 6 inches from the center either way. So what I would do is I'll draw a beam from the center point here, and then I'll go to here, and then just go past it. Nope, sorry, messed that up. Alright, I'll just go from here to here, 12 by 26. Naming beam, position, I'm going to rotate it. So you could rotate it or you can actually rotate it. So I'm just going to do it this way. And then I'm going to drag this over here 12 inches and then move it back 6 inches. And now, what did I say that was again? 7'3" or something? So I said that was 7'3" and 9'6" is 2'3", right? Like I said, it doesn't really matter too much because they'll be measuring all this. Alright, so that's that in there. He wants to just field weld this, so I don't have to do anything with that. And they're drilling holes in the other side on site. Field drill holes, 1/4 inch stiffener. So we want to put this 1/4 inch stiffener centered. So let's go here to the connection vault. Come down here, stiffener in the beam. Pick the center. Right, so we can see previously I put in ones that aren't going the whole way. So what we want to do is parameters, 1/2 inch. So that was a 1/4 inch plate. And you want it to be middle, and plate height, I want it to be full. And then I want a 1/16 offset plate from beam. So that's fine. And just check your parameters, have a look at it here. 1/4 inch double fillet weld. Okay. Then select that, and before you copy it, just come in here and include this, additional connections, then do this again. It just saves you going into that box to copy this over. I'm going to copy this from here to here. Okay, and that's good. Alright, so these two are now high enough. So when you're extending them, you don't extend them up the amount they are, you extend them up the height you want them to be. So 11 feet. Or you can just click on the second one. Alright, so now let's come in here and let's just hide them for a second so we can see what we're doing. Alright, so we have those plates in. This is going to be field welded, so you can put in a field weld. So it's going to be a flare bevel. I'll just put 0.25, but it's going to be bigger than that. Generally I would put in 3.8 for that because it's a flare bevel, but so I'll put that in and I'll just do it on each side, that's fine. So let me just double check that that was a sight weld. No, so sight weld. So go back and just check, go back here and check what's welded in the shop. Just those elements, and then check this one, and that's what's welded in the shop. Alright, so now we need 2 bent plates. So and object isolation. I'm gonna hide that. So I want a bent plate going from here onto that, so it's 1/4 inch bent plate. So I'm going to pick a line from 1 inch back, so I'm going to leave enough space to weld here, and I'm going to come across this way in the X direction to the corner of that wall. I think it should be like, what was it, 3.5 plus this 3 here. Yeah, so 6.5. And what we can do actually is we'll draw in a polyline, because sometimes they don't join. Let me see if this will join for us. I'll go 4 inches this way just to make it big enough. Join those 2. Yeah, it worked. Now draw a line up, and the bolts are supposed to be 6 inches apart, so I'll make it 9 inches. So we're going to go 9 inches. Alright, so now come up here, objects, folded beam, polyline, select the polyline, select the axis, select the start, select the finish. And then we want this to be 0.25, and then we want to put a radius over here of 0.5. And there's your bent plate. And then we're going to copy this. We're going to move this up about a foot. Move it up about a foot. And now he wants 2 bolts in this, so I'm going to draw a line in here, 1.5. I'm going to rotate my UCS around the Y axis, and the Y and the Y again. And then I'm going to come up here, switch to anchor bolts. I'm going to pick anchor bolts in this, and select this. And I'll probably epoxy, yeah, so minimum 4 inches into the wall. So I'm going to come down and do a Hilti HY 200 has E length 10 inches. Make them longer so they can cut them off or whatever. Now you're not supposed to cut them off really, right? But alright, 1, no, 2, 1, and then 6. Okay, and there's a 5/8 diameter actually they wanted, so we'll make them 5/8. And this, I'd like to weld it in the shop, right? But it's not going to work if you weld it in the shop, because you know the wall is not going to be where you want it. So just come in and put in your weld symbol anyway on this corner here. I'll bring it in here a little bit, and I'll do fillet welds. But I can't even do a 1/4 inch fillet weld on that. I'll probably do 3/16. And I'm just going to do 3 sides typical. Three sides typical, okay. Alright, so that's good. So now we're going to set our UCS back normal. Select these 2. Now you can also just select this one. And if you have this box ticked, let's see what happens when we mirror. select the point. Now this should be the midpoint. This, oh, I have this column in the wrong place, as you've probably noticed already. Alright, so let's go back a second, cancel. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to move this over. I don't know what I was doing there. So move this from there, and I'm just going to move it in the Y direction just in case I have any incidents. And it'll just move it in the Y direction so it doesn't go up or down. Alright, so it's moved my stiffeners over. So what I can do now is, let's deselect that. Actually, let's put these two on the column layer where they should be. And we can extend this over. Let's escape and extend to this column, this beam. And now select this and come out another 6 inches. Alright, so we're back to where we were. Alright, this is where we should have been. Now we're going to select this. We'll do it the way we did it the first time. And then we're going to come in here. And we're going to mirror. Select mirror point. And I was going to select the center of this line. I figured I had made a mistake. Preview. And you can see it's brought in the weld and the bolts because they're connecting members. Now if I select this, and I'm sure everyone knows this already, or most people do, and let's go to mirror, select mirror point, center this, preview, and that's what you get. You just get that clip. So let's modify that, select that, and okay. Alright, so that's good. I got those 2 clips in there. Now they also want to have clips up here into this existing beam, or sorry, bent plates. I also want to put caps on the top of these. So let's copy one of these bent plates. Let's copy this from here. And it doesn't really matter where we go. I'll just copy it to here. Doesn't really matter. And I want to rotate this in the Z direction after I rotate through the Y. So rotate through the Y. Rotate this. And this is the wrong way around, of course. What am I thinking? Alright, so let's move this from here in the Y direction to the center of this, and then let's rotate. Let's delete these holes, we don't need them, and let's rotate this, and then move in the X direction. And there you go. So there you got that clip, and you want to field weld it here and field weld it here. So same thing. I don't need to put in the weld symbol because I'll probably just add it anyway. So we'll put it in, I suppose. So it's going to be a fillet weld on the top. I'm just going to have them welded in 2 places. So it did go in the right place. Alright, I want to fillet weld on the top, so that's fine, 3/16. And then the double weld on the bottom, I want it to be a flare bevel, and I'll just leave it at 3/16. It's not that much, it's not that big. Alright, so then I'm going to copy that. So copy that over from the center of here to the center of here. Now don't forget, we don't want these columns filling up with water. Now obviously it's indoor, but generally we'd cap the columns anyway, right? So let's go here and let's go to the column and let's go to the end plate. Alright, so let's see, we got a 1/4 inch thick end plate, that's fine. Now it looks good there, right? But if you go in here and change the presentation of this beam, can see that it's no good, right? So you want to come down here to features, especially if your guys aren't using a plasma. I'm sure they don't want to be rounding off these corners, but if you're cutting these on a machine, it just makes sense. So corner cut, and now you can see you want to have it convex, and you want it convex by like 3/8, I believe, for this one. So 3/8 looks good, and then you can keep doing that, but I have advanced detailing and modeling. If I go in here, you can see corner cut continuous, and it should continue the exact same size cut. I don't have to keep doing the same one. Now, what I do want to do is I want to check this, and it's a square weld all around, so don't make that mistake. I've made that mistake before. Come in here and make sure now, because I've left the plate short all around, that it doesn't have to be a square weld, it has to be a fillet weld all around, so that's good. Now, quick tip, I guess, you could just copy this, right? So if I copy this over, not copy it, so I guess I can copy the connection. So let's try it two ways. So let's click here and copy the connection over. It doesn't copy the corners, right? So now if I go and just select everything here, let's see. Once I have that box tick that I show you inside in here, this copy should work and bring all those features over, because I just selected everything. And there you go, you got all those, and this should still be a connection. No, it's not. So it didn't copy the joint over. Alright, so it doesn't really matter. So actually, I don't know why. I thought it was going to copy the joint over. And you can see that this needs to be a site weld, and this needs to be, this needs to be a site weld. Now I'll add some of these weld symbols anyway in my drawings, so I don't put them all in. I try to get the ones I do want in, I try to have them correct. So you can see we're kind of good where we are there now. So now we just want to add a couple of cameras. I won't use these ones. So is this north? Let me see. I don't think, oh, it's not north. Anyway, I can rotate this later. You can just rotate this afterwards, so I won't worry about that for now. So let's put in some cameras. So let's put in a camera here on the midpoint of this. And this is going to be a plan view. I'm not actually going to use this, but I put it in anyway. So 6, 6, and then fixed, and the X we'll do 24. Or sorry, this is the X. And the Y, we're going to do 7 feet, just to get past the columns. And this way we'll probably do 30, just to get all the way through the wall. And properties, we just call it base connection, or section 1, base connection. Okay, and we can have the scale as, it's probably going to be like 3/4 is the 1. So let's pick, do we want a detail view or an anchor view? I'll just do a detail view, but one of my own. Detail view, pre-numbering. 3/4 is the 1. Okay. And then we can copy that. Midpoint between 2. And I'm going to copy that to the center here. And then I'll rotate through the Y. You could just create another one if you want. Rotate. through the center again, and I want to go this way. Okay. And detail box, I can probably go a little, 30 is probably good. And we'll do 16 feet. It's 14, 16 feet, right? 16 feet, way too much. So let's just do 14 feet. And it'll give you an idea. Anyway, alright. So I should do, I don't know if I'll make that a section. I might change that one. I'm going to copy this up in the Y direction and to center this beam. And then we can just pick the 3 of these and come here. What do I want to number that? E100. So I have the E on the sheet, so I'm going to call it 100. E100. Show camera details. Should open that drawing. We can see what we have. Stiffeners both sides. That's a plan view. I can't see that beam, so I have it set that way most of the time. You can change it in your object presentation, or you can just change it here. Now I'm going to make these sections different. I'm going to cut holes in the beams, but for now, just going to show you like this. This one should have a typical symbol, so if I go back in here, this weld that I put here, no, not that one, this one here. I'll just put it on the other side as well, flare bevel. And typical will mean it'll work for both columns. So, did I close that without saving it? Alright, so back in here. Alright, so typical, it's coming in with the HSS. Just clean up your labels a little bit. It's coming in with the stiffeners both sides. Base connection, I'm going to change these. Obviously I spelt that wrong. This one is coming in with the same one. So there's your base plate. So what I'll use is this one will be my main one. And then I'll give a section here. So let me go back. So you can just change things then on the fly, you know. So let's call this the same as they have it in the drawing. ATM awning framing plan. Okay. And then this one, so we can make this section 1. So I'll just call this section 1, and we don't need to get into any more detail than that. He literally just wanted me to spend an hour or two just giving him something. So I will do section 2. Section 2, and then we'll go back. Alright, so we can see, I named the 2 wrong ones, sorry. Jeez. Alright, so let's, I guess I didn't save the awning framing plan, sorry. ATM. I don't know what happened there either, so maybe it's just late at night. Framing part plan. Okay. Yeah. And this one is going to be section 2. Sometimes I just type in the same word again because it's just easier than deleting the other one. And section 1, and that's fine. Alright, so let's go back. This is going to be our first view. It kind of matches their first view. But what I should do is I should extend it. So the only thing is it'll extend in both directions. So let's go out here 5 feet. And then let's move it over 2'6". And then let's go back. And existing masonry opening. Yeah, so the masonry opening is bigger, so I'll go back and do that. Let me show you. So the masonry opening is all the way out here, so I'll do that as well, and the awning is in here. So they'll need to verify all those things, so let me update these. Update that one, and update this one. Okay, so now this is going to be our section 1, so we're going to put this here somewhere. And then this one we can pull over here. And this one we're going to pull down here. Try and get some of these things lined up with each other. Obviously this plan, it's not great. Alright, so I want to make an opening, so existing opening, so you want to do a rear view on this, so we're going to do 5 feet, and we're going to go out another 2 feet. So I'll just copy this over. Let's copy this over 2 feet, 24 inches, and copy this back. 2 feet and 2 feet and 5 feet is 9 feet, so 9 feet. Now, if you want to do a rectangle, it's going to be from here. Now if you go set your UCS back, rectangle from here, just going to do any size there and extrude that. And once it doesn't get up past that beam, so I'll do 7 feet, not 7 inches, 7 feet. Have a look and see how that looks. Is it below the beam? Not really. So we'll take that down 6 inches. So I'll do 6'6". And then I want 2 of these because I have to go through the other wall also. So copy this from here to here. And then isolate and object isolation. And extended modeling. Okay, and repeat subtract. Alright, so there's your opening. We don't need to get too technical. Now, clearly it's not that much of an opening, right? Because they need to attach to the wall here. So, I'm not sure if I should have done that. Maybe I'll rethink that. So what I'll do is, let me rethink that. And I don't need to actually have this hole here, so what I'll do is I'll move it flush with the wall, so I'll move it in the in the X direction to here, and there's 2 of them there, right? So this one I want to delete, and then I'm going to copy this one from that in the X direction to the other side of the wall, because I made it thicker than the wall because I was going to subtract it. And now I'm just going to have it there as an object. It displays a line. I'm going to show the rear view a little more to get down all the way to that. The rear 12. Just about. Now, depending on my object presentation, this might not show up. I don't remember. Yeah, so see my stud wall has come in and these. Alright, so now what you might want to do to make it look a little clearer is maybe go back here and do the front view as like a 0 or 1 inch or something like that. I probably should have done 0. Let's see. It'll just show up the flanges of the beams better. And the studs, because I have the plates set to visible, so now you can see the plates again. So stiffeners both sides. Just put in a weld symbol here. 0.25. Additional data. Typical. Go up to the top. Use text module. Okay. And add leader. And add leader. Drag this one inside. Like I say, just wants a quick job, something to just illustrate what they're doing. So, guess they just don't want to have to pay me, right? So, that's fine. Alright, so hopefully he'll get to watch this. So this one is going to be fillet weld on the top, or sorry, yeah, fillet weld on the top, and flare bevel on the bottom. That's fine. There's going to be an end plate there. This one is going to be a flare bevel either side, stiffeners both sides. This is your column, and here's your 2 anchor bolts. This should be Hilti 200, sorry. So I can either just select the 2 of them, or you can select one and then match properties. Has E200. You know what? That's something I've meant to fix. So let me see. If I go into management tools, anchors, and then go to those anchors. And let me see what I've done wrong. That has E5/8, so you can see where they're wrong. So that's why it's coming up wrong. So go in here and change this to 200. It's supposed to match the other one. And I never changed them because I usually don't use 5/8 bolts. So I was going to say a good excuse to change it, but generally I don't copy from my laptop back to my desktop. Apply them, close that, and then apply these again. And now if I come back in here, and now I have these walls in as solids, so they're not going to come out with a hatch on them. You know what, I hadn't updated that one, so let me see, is this, that's that stupid wall, right? So I'll just delete that extra wall I put in there, and that's the stud wall, so I kind of want to leave that there. So let's turn this on with the hidden lines. And then insert label. So it doesn't want to come out with the label because this is now hidden. But I don't want to turn off those walls. So that bolt's still not coming in right. So let's see. what we did wrong there. So I switched all the different lengths. So let me go back here. LTHY200 has E. Alright, let's see if that has any bearing on it. Oh man, that happened because these ones were mirrored. So I guess they inverted. Alright, so now let's go back and see what happens. Alright, so the rest of it really is just cleaning up for like a half hour. See, that has fixed that now. I just had to switch the bolt over and back. So that'll do. I generally change these a little bit. For now it'll do. We don't have any concrete in the floor, so we're going to draw in a quick slab. We can do a rectangle from here to here, but then extend out here like 4 feet. That didn't work. Alright, it only went 4 feet from the first point, so let's do 6 feet from there. We'll do an 8-inch slab there and select that and go to concrete slab. And now go back. So you'll have a little bit of this over and back, you know, when you're rushing things. So there's your slab in, so that looks okay. This, I just need some dimensions in, so I'll just pull dimensions here with verify and field on them. Verify and field. And then the other way, I'll just, you can see it's not giving me the center of those columns. So select the 2 of them. That's the way my object presentation is set up. So you can go back in if you want. I should really have these columns coming in with the object, with the center point. So what I'll do is I'll go in and switch it so you can see. So I'm going to do my detail preview or pre-numbering, and I come in here and it's going to be probably this one, visible beam exact. So visible system, visible hidden, visible system, visible exact system. Sorry, I was looking for the other way around. Alright, and then go back, just make sure your scale is the same so you don't mess it up. So change your scale to the same, apply, use. And now there should be a red dot here after I update this. You can see the red dot there. So now that will come in the next time with the red dots also. So you could also snap to there, but it's better to snap to the node here. And we'll give that as 5 feet, and we'll also want to verify that in fields. Alright, so we got 2 columns, 5 foot apart. I guess the wall thicknesses don't really matter too much to me, but I'll put them in and they can change them if they want. So I'll give them this, and we'll give them a label for the stud wall and a brick wall. This is an opening, so I'll put opening in front of this. Opening, verifying field. As I said, this is a really quick one, so I'm not really getting into too much. The guy actually just did a hand sketch and they didn't want to accept it, so he was just kind of looking for me that, you see this one here now as well, we're going to have the same issue. We're not going to have any centers, So what we can do is output and go back in, jump really quick it back in, and then just do use, because we know it's the same scale. And there's your red dot, and there your floor came in below, and your stud wall came in here. So that's about it, I guess. After that, I suppose you want to number it. I have this set up for pre-numbering, but if you wanted to number it, if you want to see the way I number it, I guess. I don't really have any steel here apart from this existing steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these. I don't think I gave these a model role, so let's select these. And advanced properties, always give a model role or it'll just treat it as a beam. So I'm going to use that as an angle, and this one here, come inside, go to naming, define as main part, go to behavior, turn off all these because that is an existing beam. You can use it for collision check and structural member if you want to turn that off. Alright, so generally I don't just number a whole model. What I'll do is I'll just turn the cameras off now. I don't really need them anymore, and then I will come into a model and select what I want to number, like this, and then I'll number that number. So we've got C1, C2. So I messed up there, right? So this is still a field weld, so I don't want to do that. So let's back out of this. Turn the cameras back on, so now I know the numbering has undone. Also, you'll see it down here if you read down here. So cameras, okay, let's go back in here, double click on this, site weld, okay. Let's try again, see what happens. Probably the most used button is undo. Alright, so we have an M1. We have a B1, is that beam, the upturned or side turned beam. These both are the same. And of course, like a moron, I still have the other one welded. Ugh. I thought I for sure took at least one of them off. Alright, we'll try it again. I'm sure nobody's still listening anyway. I'm probably just on my own. So most people probably haven't got this far on such a simple project. So let's select these two, and this is going to be site weld. Maybe we'll get it right this time. We means I'm also blaming anyone else that's there. Numbering, okay. Still, these two columns are different. I don't know why they shouldn't be. I think I know why. No. Fillet weld, all around, continuous. Alright, so sometimes you have this problem, right? So it's after happening now, so I guess I'll deal with it. Alright, so let's see again. Why is that welded to that? Because I backed out too far, right? Alright, so let's see what happens. Same problem, sorry, a bit flustered here. Alright, I backed all the way out and I changed back that one weld as well. So I backed out too far. So they're both site welds. Now if I renumber this, it's probably going to renumber them both C2 to the higher number. So let's just see. No, it's still giving them both as different columns. Alright, so let's see which is C1. That's C1 and that's C2. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete C2. Alright, so I've selected everything and the bolts, delete it, because it's not welded to anything. And then we're going to select this other one and we're going to copy it across this way 5 feet. Okay. Now we're going to select them all and number them and see what happens. Alright, so now we have two C1s, so that's kind of your workaround. Sometimes you have to delete things. It's a bit of a pain, but as you can see, if you do it right, it doesn't take long. If I didn't back out those other ones, I wouldn't have wasted all that time. So now you have all these drawings, and now I will just go to, I like to go to selected single parts, and I'll select these, and it's going to output them drawings right now, so it's outputting those, and then I'll select everything again, and I'll come in here, select single parts, onto B drawings, okay. Alright, and then go to output, document manager, or I guess you could just select which one you want. Show assembly detail. So I have the columns set. I just did a job with long columns, so I have the columns set to come in shorter probably than they should. My automated process is not perfect by any means, so if I want to clip this, I could just extend it out to like 3, might be too much. That's not too bad. Right, so something like that over here, and then move this down. So just clean up some of them labels, and let's go back and see the beam, and then we'll call it quits. Show assembly detail, and beam is also small. They're both small beams anyway, so I probably should have put it on a smaller file, to be honest with you, but let's just make the beam bigger, and the clipping is fine. We'll just leave it on this sheet. Now if it looks way too big, you can switch it. So it still looks kind of big on the sheet, or the sheet looks kind of big. So what you can do is, see, I don't like when this comes in like this, so I'll just put this in manually, and I have it coming in with the number on it, because what I do is I'll put this over by the south end, and then they know to write B1 on this end, because apparently they don't know to write it on the south and the west end. But anyway, so if you want to change that, just go to label and output, go here, and we can go to I have assembly B. You can do something like this. So that looks probably a little better, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it'll probably do on the B sheet. He doesn't actually want piece details either, but I'll give them to him. What's the point in doing it without them? Alright, so that's kind of where you're at. I don't know what else you would need to know, but it's probably a good way for somebody to start doing a little project. Here, I have not updated my page header, so what I'm going to do is I'll close this out. And then you want to come in here. What you'll do is into your project settings, which you should have done at the start, which I didn't do. Let me see, have we a project number 22247? So what we'll do, so we'll just see the project number. I won't get into filling all that in. So go back here to levels and dimensions, come down here, update page header, check out the bottom. You can see it has updated some drawings. So what I'll do, rather than going into document manager, is I'll just turn the cameras on, select the camera, show camera detail. and if you look there, the project number's in. So and here I just have this in as normal text. I should actually cut that out. And then just put it in here. So ATM. And then you're good to go, right? So that's kind of it. I mean, you can give some extra details if you want. Don't think they need it. You know, I'll add some dimensions in, like here, and some dimensions up here, and then I'll just send it in. He didn't want much, so that's it. All right. Hopefully somebody might got some use out of that. I think it's probably a nice simple one. Obviously, just a couple of beams, couple of columns and a beam. So, all right. Take care.